Life's a party. Life's always a party. Let's get it, Paul.
Let's go. Today's the day.
Big news in the McGrarty family.
Wow, I like that.
You like that?
There's.
I'm not actually gonna shit on you to start the show.
I
So
know.
let's talk about the big exciting news.
So good news. Over the weekend, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, last Friday, my older sister Laura, was proposed to. She got engaged. So
She tied the knot.
they didn't technically tie the knot yet, but definitely.
That's what they call it. If you get engaged, they say you tied the knot. Actually,
I thought it was when you get married, you tie the knot.
okay, maybe you're right on that one.
But yeah, so
Regardless,
definitely-
she's off the market.
Yeah, off the
So
market.
fellas out there, gone.
No more Laura McGrarty.
Another one bites the dust.
So super exciting, and we're very
Paulie
happy.
shot some pictures. Didn't you shoot some pictures?
Yeah, I went. We end up. Little story was pretty cool. She didn't know about it, which was great. It was a total surprise to her. It happened in Cape May on the beach, and the groom's name's the fiance guy.
Well, how long did you know before you did it? Was it hard to keep a secret?
No, I knew for about like a month and a half.
A month and a half?
So I was told back in June, because the fiance, the guy, the groom,
The guy, the human?
he wanted me to take some photos and like capture the moment, which I thought was really cool, and I was happy to be part of it. So I was hiding in Cape May for a little while, and it was super fun. We watched them like walk the beach. We walked behind them. We were staying like incognito. I had a long camera lens, so I took some photos of them like really far away for the proposal, like the actual proposal when he got on his knee.
Yeah.
And then once like she knew and he finished and stuff.
Then you came out of the woodwork?
Then I came like a lot closer and got some nice like more sentimental.
I saw some of the
intimate
pictures.
photos.
They're great pictures, Paul.
Thanks, bro.
Got some
Appreciate it.
talent,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
No problem. See, all positive vibes. to start the
Positive
show.
vibes today. That's what we're doing. Good show as always.
Let's get into it.
Okay, what are we talking about?
All right, so it is time, kids, to go back to school. Summer's over. No more partying. No more Four Loko girls.
No.
It's time to go hit the books, get that education, get that career going. So what we wanted to do, especially Paul, because he was an RA in college, is that we just want to give you a couple tips to be successful in college and have the best experience possible. Because me personally, I didn't have the best experience in college.
Okay.
I'm more team high school than team college, but you had the time of your life.
I'm
in
more
friggin'
team college for sure. I think there's a lot of great things about college, and we can talk about some things like make sure that you have a great college experience, or even like high school if you're listening to this. I don't know who's really listening, but like
Or preschool, if they're listening.
Yeah, I mean you got to make sure you got the juice box when you walk in, and make sure your day's good no matter what level of school you're at.
I drank a juice box till high school. I still drink juice
Not
boxes.
surprised actually.
Yeah. So our first tip we want to give you guys is to help you guys succeed in college. How are you going to pass that class? You pass the class by going to class.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. That's the big thing. If you go to class every time, every class, every single one, if you just go, you're gonna pass. You can't fail the class if you
Agreed.
go to every single class.
No, I agree. I think now more than ever, it should be pretty easy to go to class. Especially if everything's online, you don't really gotta get changed. You don't gotta get out of your house.
Yeah, but it's easier to sleep
Agreed.
because you could just take class in bed and just fall asleep.
Not gonna lie, in the spring when I dealt with this a little bit, there were a few classes I just did sleep through. I just forgot I had class today.
Well, you fell asleep in high school and just in the middle of class snoring.
Oh, for sure.
But other than that, if you go to class, you'll succeed, even if it's just on a webcam.
Yeah, right there. Go to class, try to pay attention.
All right, next thing. That's you, Paul.
Okay.
This
yeah.
one suits you best.
This one does. What makes your college experience good is to get involved. Once you get involved, it opens a lot of doors, a lot of opportunity for you to make sure you're having a good time. So, those groups that say you want to party, say you just want to have more friends, or say you want to like do things and not just stay in your bed all day. Like getting involved in those organizations on campus will open you up to those opportunities to like, make new friends, have those gatherings, and like.
That was my thing. I never
Party,
really
you know what
got
I mean?
involved. Some would argue you got overly involved.
Some would argue that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you're right.
So you were the mascot.
Correct.
You were in a fraternity.
Correct.
I don't know. I'm running out here. You were an RA.
That's
Enough. That's just in itself is just too much. Am I missing anything else?
Yeah, there was a few things that I did. Greek life was a big part of my experience. I really love going Greek and promote the hell out of it.
Frat parties.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that life's fun. It's not for everyone. Totally understandable.
Do frat boys get a bad rep?
I think they do. Agreed.
I'm so anti-frat.
I'm not. People would consider me a frat guy, right? I was in a fraternity for 3 years.
Ew.
And I mean, I don't think I have a bad rap. Like, I mean, people could tell me otherwise, but I don't think I'm a bad representation of what is known as like a fraternity man. Like, I don't know. It was a fun time, and I really liked Greek life. I thought it was a great way to get involved. We did a lot of really cool things, like community service wise. Got to hang out with a lot of people, and just like more on campus. So
Community
that
service.
was one.
That's why you joined the frat. Community service.
It's that brotherhood bond, man. That's why people love Greek life. It's like, you know, people say all the time, like, you buy your friends, right? Because people have dues and stuff. But I think that's totally fake. I think there's so many other ways to get involved too, and Greek life was just one that I really enjoyed. So
Gotcha. So that's another. We could piggyback off of that, and it's pretty much just surround yourself. Surround yourself with people who will put you in good situations. See, this is where I went to Coastal, and I put myself around people that didn't put me in positive positions or put me in good situations where I was able to succeed. I was hanging out with kids that never went to class, never did their homework, didn't really care about school, didn't get involved, and just wanted to party.
yeah. So that's a good example of what not to do.
But I still succeeded and overcame it, but it made it much harder than what it should have been.
You did.
So it's better to surround yourself with people who are doing the right things, go in the right places, saying the right things, because then it'll just make you overall a better person.
Yeah, I mean, you feed off that type of energy, you know, and a lot of times too, like, you know, most of this generation is really competitive, I think including myself. And if you see like people succeeding, people doing good things, and you're friends with those people, you want to do just as good, if not better than them. So I think it pushes everyone around you to do better.
Without a doubt. So it's like more so if you surround yourself with people who also have the same expectations or same goals as you and are motivated, it's just going to motivate you and make yourself better.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the simple thing around life. It's like that with the NBA players. It's with that with teachers. It's everything.
It's every organization, like, you're going to grow up and do that kind of stuff.
So if you're getting into college or you're in a high school clique, get around people who are like positive and have goals and are doing the right things.
Yeah.
I sound like a dad.
No, but it's really the main idea is like surround yourself with people that you would want to like become and want to be. And it'll make you happier and make your days better. Like, it'll make you just a better person in general. So agreed.
Healthy heart, healthy mind.
And with that, I think like basically making sure your
Priorities.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Priorities are in the right place. So like, what are you prioritizing? Are you going to that party and not going to class? Like the Dage, especially, like, this is a great idea, right? So
I'm a big Dage guy.
for the fall,
I'm dressed like
for
I'm
the
about to go
spring,
to a Dage.
Yeah, a jersey's a great outfit for a Dage, right? So depending where you're from, like a Dage or a Darty. You ever heard the word Darty before?
Yeah, I really don't like it.
Day party or Dage is day rage, right? So there's your two terms. If you don't know what that is. But like fall is a great time for, you know, Dage season. And a lot of times, you know, you get a nice day out. It'll be a Wednesday afternoon. Everyone's drinking. You got a Wednesday class. What are you gonna do?
Or a Thursday morning test.
Exactly. There you go too. Are you gonna get drunk all day? Or you know, so it's really, you know, saying like, what do you want to do? Like prioritize like what's important to you, and you'll do good.
For sure. Another thing is to be a good roommate.
Okay. Did you have a good roommate your freshman year?
I did not, actually. He's one of my best friends and did not have a good roommate. He slept at different hours than I slept.
Okay.
So as I was going to sleep, he was getting up. And let's just say he failed every class.
Okay.
But it's true. So, like, contribute in every asset of being a roommate. So don't smoke weed in the room.
I agree.
Because people like me, personally, I don't care if you smoke weed. But if I smell weed all the time and my clothes smell like weed and we're living in the same building, I don't want to smell that.
You don't want to have that.
It's not that I don't want you to smoke weed or I think you're trash for smoking weed. Not
Yeah,
at all.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, like, who cares?
Another
right?
thing, do the dishes.
Okay.
Like that, just the little things in being a good roommate.
Okay.
Do the dishes, clean up after yourself, chip in when you're getting food, go grocery shopping, chip
split
in.
it, or one by one time, one by the next.
Don't be the guy that puts a marker on the milk when you buy your own milk and draws the line marker.
I've heard about it. Is that an experience?
I've had that where I've had
man.
a roommate who drank milk and would do a Sharpie line on where the milk left off so they know if I had it.
That's a lot, honestly.
Dude, it happens. Just keep the volume down when people are trying to study or
Okay.
do homework. It's just the simple things.
I never
Be
really.
a good roommate, Paul.
I had a bunch of roommate experiences. My freshman year, I went to Virginia Tech, and I was. They had too many kids and not enough places to put them. They accepted way too many. So
Can't do that now.
No, yeah, definitely not. But I was put in a each floor at the dorm building that I was in had like a lounge, right? They turned the lounge
No way.
into
Where someone had to live there?
yeah, like an extra room.
What?
And not on that floor, it was every room was 2 people per room, right? This lounge, because it was slightly bigger, they put 3 people in there.
Oh my God.
So I was in a 3-person.
You were in the lounge?
I was in the lounge,
Oh my, that's
3-person
horrible.
room my
That's
freshman year. My 2 roommates nobody talked to anybody. One guy barely lived there, never saw him. Not a good experience. I moved actually halfway through that semester. I was trying to get out of there. Got out of there, which was nice. My new roommate, super busy, never in the room. He was an engineer. And I would basically, we'd wake up. He would be out the door by 7:30 at SAM. And then I'd be watching Jimmy Fallon at 11:30. My freshman year's college, I'd be watching Jimmy. And right around 11:30, the man would walk in the door. Walked in on cue all the time. We'd watch him. Or no, he was at 10:30 at the time. So he didn't have the Tonight Show yet. He was at 10:30 at the time. Or no, it was 12:30. So he was the last show. So we would watch like him, and then it was just insane. So
It is a weird dynamic, though.
No, yeah.
The whole thing is just like you're rooming with someone you never even met. Because I've had a time where I moved in with someone, didn't reach out to him on Facebook, couldn't find him on Facebook.
No.
And here I am walking in with my shit, first day of college, and hey, I'm Ryan, nice to meet you, we're going to live together.
Yeah.
Weird dynamic.
Lived in there. I lived in an apartment at Montclair. Had 3 roommates, all randoms.
Well, that's another thing.
Like
It's
all
a weird
random
dynamic.
people. And it was kind of funny that 3 to the 4 of us were actually involved in Greek life. So it was like, and we were all different fraternities too. So like that was a cool dynamic. But it's definitely weird. I mean, you don't know any.
You don't get to pick. Like freshman year, the most freshman students don't get to come in and have like.
Yeah,
get to
they're
pick
usually
their
random,
roommates.
or they do that survey where it's
Yeah.
like, what are your things?
Yeah, that
but I
never
mean,
works.
I've as an RA too, man. I mean, I've experienced some really bad roommate
Oh yeah, there's
conflicts
controversy
and
all
stuff
the time.
going on. Like
The
in
one time I
dorms.
walked in the room and this dude was, I guess he was a pothead. I'm not putting down the potheads out there. I'm not doing that. But the kid, I walk in after like baseball practice at Rowan, and he's like, "Do you mind if I just smoke a joint or something?" We're not even in like a house. We're not in an apartment. We're on campus, dining. I lived above that. He's
Yeah.
like, "Do you mind if I just smoke real quick?" I was like, first of all, you would get kicked out of housing. Second of all, I don't want to smell that. Third of all, just go somewhere else and smoke. Fourth of all, like, do you want to keep going down the list on how it's a bad idea to
Yeah.
roll a blunt in our room?
Exactly.
There's an RA next door.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, what's going on, dude? Figure it out. Get your priorities right.
there you go. Full circle.
Speaking of rolling some blunts, segue.
Okay.
Some party advice. Now, there's going to be parties every night in college.
Pretty much.
Every night. Now, the main thing to get around is how you can deter yourself from going out and partying every day. So you pick your spots,
Yeah.
you get your work done, you go to the right parties.
I think
You don't go to the sketchy
No.
places. You go where you know where people are going to go. You don't go alone.
It's hard at first, I think, to figure out those spots. But once you get to that point and you realize, like, okay, this
Trial
is-
and error.
Yeah, really. I mean, that honestly is. That's why I think freshman year is like so insane. I mean, I remember just going places. I would follow people like willy nilly. This is a bad problem. I'd just be like, oh yeah, you know where the party is? Like, yeah, Paul, you want to come? Like, sure. I was like, I have no idea where the hell I was going. I know how I was getting back. I don't know how like drunk we were getting. Like it was. I mean, it's a fun scenario. Like you trial and error. You want to have fun. You want to take those
Trial,
chances.
but not too much error.
No, you try not to get screwed
Minimal
up
error.
too many times. But once you know those spots and you know those group of people that you can trust and who are your friends and like, okay, you're gonna get too messed up, they're gonna take you home. Like,
Yeah.
And you got to make sure like what not to do too. Like if you're in a new place or in a place you don't really know anyone, don't get too fucked up.
Yeah.
Like don't do
Try to
that.
learn those things quick because you're going to need to know who to hang around with, who to trust, where to go, where's safe or whatnot.
And you're gonna want to know what type of people are at those houses. I mean, I was in a fraternity. Like I know a lot of those people are really great. Like a lot of people are really great. But there are some people that get let in that can cause fights. I've seen fights before. I've dealt with a lot of awful people before. Throwing things. Like I mean, it's a bad scenario. So realize what's what's good, have your fun, but don't get in trouble. Like, don't be the problem, and don't get involved in the problems.
Exactly. Figure it out quick.
But have fun, dude. College is once in a lifetime. That's what we want you to do. We want you to be successful. So we're giving you these tips.
But party it up, because life's a party.
Life is a party, so party it up, do it safely, get your shit done.
Next thing.
All right.
Paul's waiting on this one.
So, Ryan said we want to talk about something. I'm going to talk about it. This is my idea. So, a couple weeks ago, I tried to bring up the idea of time travel.
And I shut him down.
Now, I'm not going to shove this in your face. Like, this isn't a thing that we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to be like, yo, like, you want to talk about time travel? Like, I'm not that type of guy.
I have an open mind. I'm feeling really, really extra positive.
But Ryan said he would like me to discuss my idea, or my theory per se, of like time travel. I have an idea. I think it's been talked about before. There's this one movie I really like. It's called Arrival. Came out a few years ago. It was an Oscar-nominated film. Had Amy Adams in it and Jeremy Renner. And it was about basically an alien race that came to Earth. And you end up finding out, like, Amy Adams is our main character, and she's a linguistics expert, and she tries to communicate with the aliens. Well, she understands the language finally, and the language actually allows her brain to understand time, like, differently, other than, like, a human brain, where, like, a human basically thinks about time linear, right? So this happened at 8 o'clock, that happened at 10 o'clock, this happened at 12 o'clock, right? Like, we're following. There's no way that we can go back in time and see, like, what just happened, or, like, enter that mind, right? The mind state.
Well, not to interrupt your tangent here, but you could have a flashback.
Okay.
Or a memory.
Yeah, I agree. But you're not, like, in that space anymore, correct?
Gotcha, okay.
So we perceive time as humans in a linear fashion, that I'm 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4, right? And that's how my brain works, and that's how I go from being born to dying. Right. Now, I believe that humans can only perceive it this way, but I don't think it's the only way that someone can perceive it. I feel that time is a line, but I feel like as though you can jump the line. So you can perceive it differently. In this movie, basically, the idea is that the aliens taught her to perceive time differently, and that she could go into different, like, her brain, she could, like, hop through her brain. So her life is already predetermined. So that's where it's different in this idea, that the idea of, like, free will doesn't really exist. It does, but it's saying your life is already planned out. Everything to ever happen has already happened, and you're just going through that timeline.
So you're saying this lady can be like, I perceive myself as a baby tomorrow. Like, tomorrow I'm going to be a baby.
No, she could say, like...
Or I'm going to be a 1-year-old tomorrow.
She's like, hey, like, she's talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden she can, like, go into a different time zone. So say she's in the year 2012, and then she's, like, perceiving something, and she wants to go to another point in time to just, like, to get information. So she goes to, like, 2015.
But this is a movie. But this is something you actually think is out there, or people.
No, I don't know if people can do this.
Or
but
eventually,
I don't believe though time is like only linear. I feel as though you can. It is a line, like, in space and time, that you can, you know.
It is weird,
like,
though, because, like, one guy was just like, you know what, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, tomorrow is tomorrow. Like, that's just, some guy would just all follow it.
I feel as though, like, if there was a way, you really could, like, go back and see it. Because it does exist in some point in time, right? Like, it is a point in the space. It's hard to, like,
so we're so used to, like, the structure.
Correct.
Of, like, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward.
If you look at a graph, like, the idea of a graph, right, you're going forward.
Right.
But I'm saying, imagine...
I mean, you might be on something. I'm kind of trying to get my brain to get
you could just
other
jump
places.
the line. Because it does exist.
Everyone thinks it's so crazy because we're just so used to just keep going forward with, like, tomorrow is tomorrow, and what, like, everyone's been following, every single person's been following the same structure. But the universe is so big that who is it to say this is the only way to perceive time?
I think that's just where it is. Like, I don't like truly say, oh, this is the right way or this is the wrong way, but it's a concept that you can definitely grasp. You can be like, okay, that could happen. We're so infant as humans and, like, as a race in general.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, we're so infant. Like, there's so much more to be discovered. I think just crazy between what technology has advanced since, like, 1980. to like now.
Well, here's the thing though. The like counter argument to that is like, I know we perceive time as just keeping moving forward, and we're just stuck in the moment and moving forward, and how we can't jump places with our brain. But then, isn't something like just our bodies developing? Does that influence the time or like the ability to move around in time?
Like, want to travel. No, I don't think at all. She was traveling through like her different periods of like her mind, so she was entering the body of that time period, which was interesting. But I'm saying if you wanted to do it as like a time machine, I'm just saying the idea of time in general.
Well, then that would mean like life would have to be like a simulation.
No, not in general. It's just something that happened and is like in the world.
It is weird though, like how some people can remember a memory when they're 3 years old.
Okay.
Or I don't know like the statistic of like when you can actually remember.
It's around 3.
Isn't it weird that we're like born, and then 5-6 years go by and we don't remember a day?
No.
Until we're like 7.
It's very rare that you remember anything that happened in that period of time. But your brain's developing. Like that's just you can't.
That's like where were we before we were born? Isn't that just weird shit to think of?
No, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
It's like scary.
A lot of stuff we wouldn't even be able to remember a lot of things if it wasn't for like photos and videos and things. Like a lot of that, honestly, it opens those gaps in your brain and it allows you to reflect back on that time. Where a lot of times, if I never showed you that photo or showed you that video and we didn't talk about it, you would most likely forget about it. Like you would never think about it again.
Life is just so.
So there's a lot of really cool things about it. I mean, if you're interested in time travel, there's a lot of really cool movies. They're all different, and I just think it's a fun thing to think about. Honestly, I don't believe one way or the other. I just live my life, but it's a cool concept.
There's definitely endless opportunities out there that no one knows about.
Agreed, and I think
Which
science
is scary.
There's so
as
much
shit.
things to discover. Technology is advancing constantly, rapidly, and the universe is infinite. So we can discover anything.
All right, so our next segment, Paul, is you always want people to know about us. Like, get to know us.
I think people should. If you're watching the show, like, don't you want to know a little bit about us?
I mean, we're pretty cool.
I think we're cool fellas. Not gonna lie.
So here's just kind of like an icebreaker kind of thing, just really random questions, and we'll go through them and we'll each answer the question just so that people can get to know us at home.
Okay, I like it.
So let's see. This first question is: what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given? From either a coach. You don't even have to say who gave you the advice. Just say something that you've learned in your 23 years of life where you always remember this one piece of advice and always try to implement it in your life.
Something that I always think about is just like how I don't know who said this to me. I know I've had a bunch of people like talk to me about it. This idea of like we shouldn't be doing things that we're not like enjoying in our life, or like we're not doing like what like makes us happy. So it's this really simple thing of like enjoy every day that you have because you only live life once.
So like YOLO.
Honestly, like
YOLO.
No, but dead ass. I mean, if you want to simplify it, it really is like you only live once. It's YOLO. I mean, like
that's the same as mine. It's like I don't know who told me. It was like do what makes you happy. Like I even think it's the background on my laptop. Like literally just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Life's so short, and we see so many examples on how life is short. Why not just be happy every day?
Yeah.
I know it's hard not be happy every day.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. I mean, like, there's shit going on right now that obviously isn't making everyone happy. But at the same time, I mean, you can only control what you can control. So, really, like, be the main character in your life and make sure that you're doing what you can control and how to make your life the best it could possibly be.
Happy.
Yeah, like make others around you great as well. But at the end of the day, like
what Pharrell said, like, 'cause I'm happy. Oh, we gotta get rights to that song.
Yeah, nah. I think,
dude, we're gonna be giving out hefty fines for all these little blurps of songs I get into.
Yeah, you better watch yourself.
All right, what's the second question so people can get to know us?
There you go. So, what's something that you love that everyone you know hates?
Oh.
So, like, what's I would consider this an unpopular opinion.
Okay, an unpopular opinion. I'd probably say the New York Giants.
Okay.
As a football team.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're from South Jersey, right outside Philadelphia. All my friends are Eagles fans. They're all like, go birds.
There we go, baby.
Big Dick Nick. I've had enough of it. Like, I've been wearing Giants jerseys to school.
Yeah, you have
just to get people angry when I was like 10 years old. So I feel like that's just an unpopular opinion that people hate about me. but everyone likes the Eagles. I like the Giants. And it's like a rivalry, so I embrace it.
Okay.
I mean, we stink right now, but I feel like that's an unpopular opinion that people don't like.
No, I
what
think
like.
I think that's good for you. Agreed.
Thank you.
Something for me, I don't think it applies as much as I get older, but it's something like when I was younger, was the idea that I love golf. And I love playing golf. I like watching golf. And most people say, "Oh, you like golf? Like golf's boring." You know what I mean? And oh, watching golf is stupid and it's not fun and it's boring and this is the slowest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, right? But I think that's just something I grew up on. And like I learned to play at a young age. I learned to play golf at 12, and it's something that I just really love to do and I enjoy doing. And I think a lot of my friends were like iffy about it at first. Like I was never really like picked on or anything. But
No, because that's a good point, because my little cousin, he's just picking up golf. I mean, he's not the best baseball player, basketball player, and he goes to St. Augusta, and they're like powerhouse and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So he's trying golf, but then he was like worried that his brother's friends would make fun of him. I'm like, that's dumb. I know like people start to pick it up later on, but the fact, like, don't let your brother's friends make fun of you for trying golf. Like it's golf.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, I think it's a weird thing that like at a younger age, just because it's not one of those 4 major sports that every kid grows up to play. But as you get older, I mean, more of my friends now more than ever are learning to play golf and enjoying it and playing a lot. And
Wait, what is that they call like the mid-20s crisis? Like
well, dude,
golf
it's
crisis.
big. It's big on TikTok right now too. Like all the girls are like, "Oh, quarantine hit, and my boyfriend learned how to play golf." Like, dude, you realize once you pick up a golf club, whether you're good or not, it's a nice day out with your friends, or like people use it sometimes to drink. Some people like it to smoke cigars or just like enjoy their friends, but. It's a good time, and it was a weird thing that a lot of people I know don't enjoy, but I always did, so.
For sure. All right, next question. What restaurant do you eat at way too often?
I like this one.
So, my restaurant, for all the South Jersey people, right next to Cherry Hill, there's a little Italian restaurant called Maggiano's.
Okay.
Me and my girlfriend go all the time. They got a little Marco deal. It's deal for 2. It's like $50. Appetizer, meal, 2 meals, and appetizer. You get 2 meals to go home with you.
Okay.
Grab some fettuccine to go,
There you go.
and you get dessert for a cheesecake. It's like $60. It's a steal.
Perfect.
Italian place. And Chick-fil-A. I eat too much Chick-fil-A.
I think everybody eats too much Chick-fil-A, though.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
Mine would be, I don't think as often now.
McDonald's.
No. I thought about that. But the problem with I was eating a lot of McDonald's, especially at Montclair. There's one about 30 seconds from campus. It's like off the main exit. It's literally like
you jump there?
It's almost connected to campus. I mean, I would go there like every Saturday morning. I'd get breakfast like before I left. Usually to go out like for the weekend, I would just go grab McDonald's because it was the closest thing to campus, and it was quick, and everyone knew what it was. After a party. You come back to campus, you have to pass McDonald's to get on campus.
That's dangerous.
Like that's where you would stop. I'd be there 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could put it on the list, but I think, especially in high school, and then especially like as I stopped going there, I realized how much I did used to eat there.
Burger King?
It would be Applebee's.
Applebee's.
I feel like I was always at Applebee's, especially.
You don't even get anything like creative.
No,
you just get mozzarella sticks
There you go. It's perfect.
and a burger.
Mozzarella sticks, dude. I love their pub pretzels.
my
they're
God.
great too. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Dude,
So,
I haven't been to Applebee's since the quarantine. I go often too.
you're not. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like outside seating?
They
You're
have
gonna go to
takeout,
Applebee's?
don't they?
Yeah, I mean they have takeout, but that's what's weird. I think Applebee's was more as like a vibe and just a nice place.
It was just a
Especially
place like
half-price apps.
half price apps.
And it was a nice place that everyone was pretty content with. So
Yeah.
Applebee's.
I see you eating Applebee's.
Having
all the time.
what's their slogan?
Applebee's?
Having good in the neighborhood or something like that.
I think yeah, there's something about neighborhood.
There you go. Now, what word do people use to describe you most often?
Alright, so I would like to think that most people describe me as funny. I mean, I get that thrown
Okay.
around a lot.
Okay.
But then I also get like a lot of people say that I'm a scaredy cat or like a wimp. Cause like I don't watch scary movies. I hate scary movies. I didn't stay home alone till I was like 16. I'm just a big wimp, so a lot of people just say I'm a wimp or a scaredy cat or the P word that I'm not gonna say.
I definitely see. I remember like being younger with you in school, and everyone described you as a teddy bear. You know, like a bigger dude, but he was like cuddly and like
Not
nice.
tough.
Yeah,
Well,
not
I'm tough. I guess.
That's definitely one
teddy
thing.
bear.
Describe me most often. I think a lot of people would think of me as like energetic or like outgoing or loud. I guess you could even say
I don't know about loud. Outgoing, energetic, yeah.
both work.
Outgoing, very number one. I don't know about loud.
Maybe
I don't think
sometimes
you're
annoying.
loud.
I don't know.
They can add that to my list.
Yeah.
Annoying. So next one. Where are we at here? What is your biggest pet peeve?
Okay, so we talked about this on the podcast a few weeks ago. If you checked out our tips, or what do we do?
Tips how to have a good movie experience.
Yeah, like what to do at the movies and stuff, and what not to do.
Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts at the movies. And one of our big don'ts was don't clap in the movie theater. It's a weird experience. It makes me feel weird.
I hate it.
Like, don't do it. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves, hands down, when people clap in the movie theater.
I agree. Mine would be just being late. I hate being late.
Okay.
I'm early for everything. You are not.
That's true.
Ever
I'm
on time.
I'm usually late.
So that's probably my biggest pet peeve is people who are late.
You're welcome.
I'm always early. Another thing, as I was driving over, just thinking about this question, I have a pet peeve for like people who ride a bike, but their pedals aren't calibrated. Like they're pedaling faster than what they're going.
Okay. That's so
Like,
weird.
fix your freaking pedals. You can pedal less and go at the same rate.
Oh, you
where,
mean
your pedals
so
aren't
like a gear shift,
Yeah.
right? On a mountain bike.
So
and
they're
stuff?
like pedaling really fast
Yeah.
and they're going like 2 miles an hour. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Just fix the calibration so you don't have to pedal as hard.
That's
to go.
funny. That's like a neat little one. I would.
Then, as I was thinking about it, I also hate the bikers.
No, just
Not to get into these bikers. The potheads and the bikers are getting a bad rap.
Yeah, they
after
are.
this.
It's a bad episode for them.
When they're riding their bike and they're like acting as if they're a car and can go 45 miles an hour, and they put their arm out for like a right hand turn
I've
signal.
never seen that.
What?
I've never seen a biker do that.
I see them all the time. They ride their bike and they'll do like put their left hand out as a left hand.
They're making sure they don't get hit.
But they're acting as if they're a car. You can't go 60 miles. You can't go 100 miles an hour.
That's true.
So that was another biker information that really got under my wheels. Got my wheels turning.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
You like that? Did I do? Oh yeah, I did the last one. So we got 4 left.
Okay. What's the most spontaneous thing that you've ever done?
See, I consider myself a very spontaneous person.
Okay.
Yet I could not think of one spontaneous thing I've ever done. It's probably a weekend trip to like Washington D.C. I think one Friday we were like, let's just go to Washington D.C. because I never went there.
I like that. That's a good one.
And we just booked a room for a night and just spontaneously went to Washington D.C. It's good for like a one-time trip. Like it's good for one day, and it's like I've had enough of Washington
Really?
D.C.
I want to go back.
I brought my camera. I was doing little Pauly pics.
Yeah, look at you.
Ryan pics.
No.
Pics by Ryan. I should make my own Instagram.
Maybe.
But yeah, I took a lot of pics, and it was a good day. It was hot as balls out.
I feel as though recently, really haven't been spontaneous. I don't know if that's just the quarantine and stuff, but I haven't really been too spontaneous. I feel like more now than ever, you have to plan shit out to go anywhere, to do anything. You have to make a reservation, and you can't show up to anything, so, which kind of sucks. But as you were talking, I thought of one, and I think about 2 or 3 years ago, there was one night we were chilling at my house. I was with like a few friends.
Skinny dipping?
Yeah. Do you know the story I'm going to talk about?
I don't know the story.
Okay, so
I can't believe I got that right.
now there's another one that kind of goes in with that. But one was I think we were just here.
Kids show.
And kids show. Hey, I think it was like 11 o'clock, and we just didn't know what to do. And
Let's just get naked and go in the pool, you know?
So we said, okay, we said, okay, let's go visit Sean down in Sea Isle. What? So we ended up driving at 10 o'clock. We left here, or 10 or 11. We left Stratford, drove an hour to Sea Isle, got there around midnight, ended up drinking with Sean, like at his Sea Isle house with him or whatever. And it was like 4 or 5 of us. And we said, you know what, let's go skinny dipping in the ocean. And we said, okay, we jumped on the ocean.
Jumped on the ocean.
Or jumped on the beach. And
jumped on the beach.
And, ran in the ocean. It's a fun time.
Just butt naked.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, that's called skinny dipping. That's literally what it is. You can't have clothes on and say, oh, I went skinny dipping.
Well, you've been like skydiving. That wasn't spontaneous?
No, I mean,
you planned each one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always wanted to go skydiving. I skydived the first time when I was 18, and I'm 23.
You survived?
I did.
Good thing you survived.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah. Oh, I heard a funny thing today or yesterday.
Gosh. I don't know if I want to know.
It said skydiving. It said you don't need a parachute to go skydiving. You only need a parachute if you want to go skydiving twice.
I like
So
that.
there you go. If you want to survive, bring your parachute. But no, we planned that out. I mean,
Well, you could go skydiving naked.
like that-
And then land in the
feel like a
ocean, and
herd-
then
a
that's
herd-
skinny dipping.
there you go. You
Two for one.
2 fish with 1 hook. There we go.
2 fish
Bringing
with 1
it-
hook.
bringing it back with the whole
merchandise
quote.
coming soon. Merch coming soon. 2 fish, 1 hook. Next one. 2 left. Just kidding.
We can do
3
2.
left.
Let's do 2.
Okay, 2 left. We'll pick the best 2. Let's do. What book or movie would you change the ending to if you could? Now, I was thinking about this. It looks like you don't have one.
I don't. I'll think about one right now.
So, I don't know if you've seen I Am Legend
No.
with Will Smith. I'm not very good at explaining movies, but basically,
Yeah, we know.
the world becomes full of zombies, and he's like a doctor trying to find the cure to how to stop these zombies. And he's like taking blood samples, blah, 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 blah. He's looking for a survivor. And basically, the whole world turns into zombies coming after him. And at the end of the movie, he's stuck in his office, I guess you could say. And he finds a survivor, and he's trying to get her blood sample, finds the cure on how he can stop all these zombies and get human life back on Earth. And the survivor escapes, and then he gives the survivor the cure, and then he gets a grenade and blows himself up, and he dies along with the zombies that entered his house. So the survivors survive with the cure, but he could have saved himself. So I wish
mad
he would
about
just
it?
go with the survivor and save himself like he easily could. Instead, he committed suicide with the grenade.
Okay.
So that's one of the movies that I wish we could overturn the ruling.
Okay.
How about we just do this then if you don't have one?
No, I got one. I
Oh,
got
you
one.
got one?
So I feel like this is a pet peeve for a lot of people. Do you know the ending of Titanic?
That was one, I've never even seen Titanic. I know
But do you know what I'm about to say?
that they just steered the way from the glacier.
No. So no. The historical event I don't wish ended differently. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of. I do wish that the Titanic.
If you had
didn't
family
sink.
members in the Titanic, Paul, take that back and say sorry to them.
I do wish the Titanic did not sink. But I'm saying for the movie purposes, the idea with
oh my
whatever their names are, Jack, right? So remember that big thing where it's like they both could have fit on the raft?
Yeah.
I think that was like baloney. Like they both could have fit. So if you could have changed the ending,
Yeah.
they both lived, but they
That's-
wanted to make it dramatic. Those characters weren't real anyway, so
That's unreal.
there you go.
All right, last thing. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to be an ice cream truck driver.
Why?
Just so that I was a fat kid. I mean, we know
Okay.
that. And
You liked
I
ice
remember
cream?
we had to like draw what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I drew myself in the ice cream truck, and I put like in like big 55 font letters. I want to be ice cream truck driver, so I could eat all the ice cream.
Is that from your like kindergarten
Yeah.
book? Like that's the.
And now I can actually, I didn't realize how easy of a dream that was.
It's very
I could
sim-
probably apply tomorrow and be riding around in the Mr. Softy truck
There you go.
and eating all the ice cream I wanted.
That's your dream. Just fulfill your dream as a kid. Mine, I don't know. Like at a young age, I don't really remember. It's probably something like astronaut or something. I feel like everybody does that. But definitely as I was getting older, like 10 or 11 or something, I thought acting was just one of the coolest things in the world. Like professional actors and people who do that for a living.
You could still do that, Paul.
That's definitely true, not gonna lie. Could still do that, but I remember that. That's kind of what I wanted to do as a kid.
Dude, you want to know a sad story?
You're gonna tell me anyway?
Yeah. So you know how you're not supposed to tell your wishes when you cut your cake for birthday?
Yeah.
I wished every day from when I could ever remember, every birthday, I would cut the cake, blow the candles out, and wish to be an MLB baseball player.
Yeah, if a lot of people want to be, especially professional.
I wasted 20 years of my life wishes on the same wish. It's just for it not to happen.
Nope.
Sadness.
It is.
Poor kid. Poor little Rai.
Poor past Ryan, his little
Such a sad story.
He fucked up.
Lost 20 wishes. Didn't even come true.
So that's enough about us. Hopefully you learned something. You know us a little bit better. We told you to watch Superbad the last week.
No, they told us to watch Superbad.
Oh, true. You picked the movie for us. Somebody submitted it.
Paul
and,
never saw it.
I've never seen Superbad before.
Funniest movie ever. It's probably number one top comedic movie.
It was just something I just never watched, but I did watch it, and gotta tell you, Rye, it's hilarious.
It's one of those movies where you can literally laugh out loud. Like, there's funny movies where you'll laugh a couple times out loud, but there's like at least 10 spots where you're
It's just there's just
LOLing.
so like social awkwardness and cringy moments that I just thought were so funny. And as you said, I was absolutely laughing out loud. Jonah Hill, phenomenal. Especially the two cops with Bill Hader and Seth Rogen. I thought really like helped that film out a lot.
I'm doing a little fact check. Because I think Seth Rogen was actually younger than Jonah Hill on the cast.
So, Superbad, you never watch it. It's about basically three seniors in high school that they're about to graduate and they're basically losers. And, all they want to do is impress girls, get laid, and go to a party. That's basically the story. And they have to get alcohol because they're underage. And
it says based off a true story.
Havoc ensues.
Ryan, Paul, and his friends.
True story? Yeah, I mean it's definitely plausible. It's a really simple story about three guys wanting to, go to a party and impress some girls. But the cops in the film, as I said, played by Bill Hader and Seth Rogen, are so funny. Like they make me cringe sometimes, like with what they do. The guy who plays McLovin is just so funny as well. And that whole concept of like the fake ID and like the bad fake.
I am McLovin. The movie is hilarious.
And every time you think they're just gonna get caught, especially with the cops, you're like, oh, let me look at the ID, and then they're like, oh yeah, man, like have no problem, like, and they just go along with it, and then you find out obviously that they've been lying the whole time, but it's really funny, and it just makes you laugh, makes you want to continue.
I mean,
to
some
watch.
stuff would probably, like, some funny parts would not be able to be aired during today's time.
I agree. I think it's definitely
But it's
dated a little
hilarious.
bit.
It relates to today's time still. It's basically one of the movies where it's like timeless, kind of.
Yeah.
In a sense, not totally, but still timeless.
It's something that can be relatable to everybody. I mean, you're awkward, you're in high school, and you want to impress the other gender. I mean, it's pretty simple.
All right, so here, this is, I don't know, is Seth Rogen 38 years old now? I think he is.
Did you look up his?
I think it's just his birthday. So Jonah Hill is 36, I guess, now.
Okay,
So
there
they're
you
2
go.
years different. So Jonah Hill was playing a 14-year-old, and Seth Rogen was only 2 years older than him.
Playing,
and he's
playing 18-year-old.
playing 18-year-old. And Seth Rogen looks like he's 40 in the
Yeah.
movie, and he's only 2 years older than Jonah Hill.
Also with his facial like hair, he had whatever that is. He had like a goatee, but he cut out the beard, so it was literally hair on his.
Oh, here it is.
Mustache.
Jonah Hill was 24 when he shot the film.
Okay.
And he was playing an 18-year-old. And Seth Rogen was 25. And
Oh man,
he was playing.
that's what facial hair does.
That's crazy.
And yeah, Jonah Hill just looks so young in that film.
But it's a great movie. It's one of those films you can just keep watching it, and it never gets old.
It's interesting too. I mean, looking at it now, you realize who is in it.
Right.
Like, I watched it today actually, and there was two guys that kind of surprised me that were in it. The one was Dave Franco.
Yeah.
So he's in it for like 3 seconds.
Wait, when's he in it?
He's in the football or the soccer scene when they're playing
Oh,
soccer.
yeah, he showed he
and
runs
he's
up.
like, yeah, like you peed your pants or something. He's like, dude, that was 8 years ago. He's like, whatever he said. He's like, I'll always remember or
he said it.
something. And I was like, oh shit, that's Dave Franco. You know what I mean? And most people wouldn't really recognize him now. Like you would recognize him now, but what he's.
I mean, that was
what
probably
he's done.
way before his fame. Like,
Oh
it was
yeah,
one of his
that's what I'm
first
saying.
movies.
Him. There was another actor at the party that I recognized.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But you wanna we rating this movie?
Yeah, we can rate it. It's just hilarious.
It's a great movie.
Go watch it. It's a classic. Like it's
literally is.
along one of those lines what I believe is like great comedy films such as Step Brothers, the original Hangover, like those because it's rated R too. So like those idea of those rated R comedies.
I'm gonna give it in the 9s.
Okay. Ooh.
I mean, it's one of those films, like, my rating system is based off of, like, is it a good movie? And then it's also of, like, the director and the shot and all that. But, so I'm going to go 9-2. Only
Okay.
low 9s because it's hilarious. But my system is like there's gonna be a movie that's way better directed and way
Yeah.
better
It's-
storyline and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's hard.
So I can't give it a 9.8 because it's not one of those
No,
type of
'cause
those
you're like, yeah,
Oscar
it's-
movies. Like
It's hard.
I feel like
'cause-
9.2 is high.
No, I don't think it's too high. I think for the genre that it's in.
Right.
So say, hey, based on all the comedy films of all time, like where would it go? I definitely think it's a classic, which would justify it being in the nines.
I think it is the number one comedy movie ever.
Yeah, see, that's a strong statement. Like,
But
that's,
it's still 9. It's still 9.2 based off like the storyline, the director, the shots, the you know what I'm saying.
Everything about
it's
it.
hard to describe what I'm kind of getting to, but. So what are you going with?
I like nines. I'll go 9-1.
9.1,
Okay.
9.1, 9.2.
That's a good film
Best comedy movie of all time.
for you. We'll see. I
What's
gotta,
yours?
I don't know, man. I don't.
I think most people would agree that Superbad's
A
the
lot of
funniest
people
movie
would.
ever.
I think a lot of people would.
I love The
For sure.
Hangover. Hangover is probably 2.
I think the original Hangover is just so great.
Hilarious. Next movie of the week. Next, what are we rocking with? You have it right.
Oh, I do. I
I
looked at you. Actually, I forget the name.
It's
real quick.
Power or something like that.
Yeah.
Paul's looking it up, so I'm going to do the Bet of the Week recap. So we had the Anthony Davis, LeBron James, each to get a double-double in the Lakers game against Portland. It hit. Guess what? They're offering it again today, and I'm taking it again. But the bad news is that you can't take it because this show doesn't air tonight. It airs on Tuesday. But hopefully it hits again, and then just check the Instagram page for our next Bet of the Week. I'm thinking about starting to do 2 bets a week. I might do a Tuesday, Thursday Bet of the week
man.
to get this thing going.
Okay.
And so stay tuned on Instagram. So I might be doing 2 bets a week. Stay tuned. Paul's got the movie of the week. Finally.
Movie of the week we're watching next week is going to be a Netflix film. So hopefully
Neither of us
everybody-
seen it.
No, it's brand new Netflix film. I think it came out maybe like a week or 2 ago, but both of us have never seen it. It's called Project Power. I'll read the synopsis real quick. An ex-soldier, a teen, and a cop collide in New Orleans as they hunt for the source behind a dangerous new pill that grants users temporary superpowers. Stars Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dominique Fishback. It's like action, adventure, comedy, or action thriller.
I watched a brief trailer. It's like, for all of you who've ever seen Limitless by Bradley Cooper's in it, or the main actor in it, where they take a pill and then they get these powers.
Where he can have access to like 100% of his mind.
Yeah, so these guys have this pill where it gives them like superpowers. So it's kind of like the decision whether they should take the pill and have these powers or ethically don't take it. And it's kind of what I'm getting from it. It looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to watch it because I haven't seen it, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at movies. I can't wait till movie theaters get back and we can start
Yeah.
going to the theater.
Get some
and
popcorn.
talking about new movies. Ryan's excited for Tenet. Hopefully that opens
Tenet.
soon.
Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah.
Ricky Jarrett, for all you baller fans out there with Dwayne The Rock. Ricky Jarrett's the main character in Tenet. But what's this called?
This is called Project Power.
Project Power. I'm excited about it. I'll be watching. You guys watch so we can break
Check
it
it out
down.
for sure.
Other than that, any more news on the pod?
No, that's our show.
That's a show. Another one in the books.
And thank you for listening all the way to the end. Appreciate it. If you like it, show your friends. Tell your parents. Like, we're trying to grow.
Word
So,
of mouth. Start talking about it.
Do it. Life's a
Tell-
party. Do our tips. Tell your friends.
Let us know how your college life is going. Let us know if we helped in any way, which we probably didn't.
we did. No, we did. I thought you were gonna say we probably did. I'm like, no.
But it's another great episode. We look forward to next week. Stay tuned. Love you guys. Music, take us out.
Peace.
Later.